Week number 84 of the 27-inch challenge, and this is week number 2 of the overhead press and deadlift focus phase. Okay, week number 2. So we increased the weight from before, from the grace 120 pounds or 130 pounds. Now this is a big jump. This is 175. Okay, 175 pounds for how many reps? That's 3, that's 4, and that's 5. So based on that first set, I'm always basing my day, what I'm gonna do for the rest of the working sets on the first set. So based on that first set, that felt heavy. So what we're gonna do today is we're gonna take it easy. You know, this is going to be multiple sets of 5. So yeah, this is the second set of 5. This is 1.2 times body weight. I am weighing around 145 to 150 pounds. So, you know, divide 175 divided by that weight is to 1.2, 1.3 times body weight, somewhere between there. So grip placement, people are arguing about what is the best grip placement on the overhead press, and people say it should be below your elbows. You know, you'll see me later, I am thinking of doing that, but you know, it's not for me. Okay, so I'm supersetting it with squats, antagonistic muscle group. This is one of the best ways of saving time when you're training. You know, work the opposite muscle groups. If it's, you know, not a day when you're focusing really on PRs, then superset your lifts, you know, to save time. You know, this is, I have a lot of things to do now. I have a new job and I really need to balance my time, so there will be a lot of things like this, you know, supersetting. This is the grip placement I'm talking about. Where is the grip placement? I tried to go wider. As you can see, that is a little bit inside of parallel to the elbow. People say it should be parallel with the elbow when you go to the starting position, like that. Okay, elbow, wrist, parallel. They are parallel with each other, and when I tried it, it feels weird, and yeah, I feel a lot of impingement on my rhomboids, my subscapularis. You know, if you go to Google that, the part of the shoulders on the rear delt side, near the rear delt side, it feels weird, and I'm feeling a lot of impingement. So again, supersetting this with squats, 200 pounds, adding those two 11 pound plate, 5 kilo plate, and doing pause VMO squat. Okay, so I like this. I like squatting high reps because it really works my VMO with not a lot of tension on my joints, and I don't feel trashed after the workout, and a few days after the training I can really focus on squeezing the muscles. It doesn't hit the joints at all. So I'm gonna keep this up, 200 pounds. And yes, you can see I made the mistake here. Oh, I didn't make a mistake here actually. It's on the later clip. So this is like a test set. My sets are already up, so I'm just trying the wider grip, and it still feels weird. So you can see I only got 3 reps. Okay, but I can do 5 reps at a time. So that's not the grip for me. And that's one lesson, guys. If you see a lot of mainstream fitness advices now, and sometimes it turns into rules, you know, don't do this, do this, some sort of like form check. We have different biomechanics, okay? We have different muscle attachments, bone structures. Some people have wide clavicle, some people have shorter femurs, you know, stuff, the anatomy stuff, you know. You should press comfortably. So I'm not comfortable with that grip, so from now on I'm gonna change it to what am comfortable with no pain. Okay, I'm having pain on my subscap when doing that, so I'm going to, even if the rule or the mainstream media say that, oh, you should go wider grip, I'm gonna go a closer grip, you know, because it feels safe, it feels stable, and it hits my delts. That's the most important. Okay, people say don't do light weights on the big movements. Well, I'm doing light weights on the squat today, so yeah, so it only shows that advice of do what works for you is really the golden advice. You know, do what works for you, try it out, and then when it doesn't work, when it doesn't hit the goal, change it. You know, just, some people say don't do upright rows because it's gonna impinge your rotator cuff. Well, I'm doing upright rows now and I have no problem. It's an issue of mobility. Okay, my shoulders are pretty mobile. It can really stretch. So I'm doing it. I'm doing upright rows. I'm not just overloading it. That's the stupid mistake people do. They are overloading isolation movements that are meant to hit smaller muscle groups, right? Smaller muscle, smaller weight. That's common sense. But they have their egos. They don't leave it at the door of the gym or they have this pride stuff, you know, that, oh, I'm not a pussy, I can lift a lot of weight. So what do? They overload a small muscle group with a big weight, which is going to result to snapcity. It's going to result to a lot of injury. Okay, so do this light weights. This is only 40 pounds, you know, and when it's already burning on that high reps, do lateral do lateral raise. The best ways of building the smaller muscle groups, for in this example, it's the rear delt, side delt, and a little bit of the rear delt, is high reps. You know, it's a small muscle groups, so do a lot of reps with very little weight and let it burn. The issue I have to work on lately is really the consistency of doing this twice a week, especially the isolation movements. I'm not really doing a good job on hitting the isolations, so I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna work on that because, you know, I have a new job and the schedule becomes hectic, and August have this it has a lot of social events, so the training is just a fit in, you know, you're just fitting it in. I have no time for excuses, but it's really hard to fit it in now, you know, so I have to wake up earlier and sleep a little bit less, which is fine. Some days I only work out twice a week, so 2 days of not really, you know, sleeping much or sleeping lesser than 8 hours is pretty good. So yeah, so diet break is still going. This is week 3 or week 2 of the diet break. Okay, so I'm eating well. I think August will be a week of, you know, close to maintenance. You know, I am counting now on the traditional counting, you know, because we're approaching a pretty low body fat level in terms of my, you know, what I can maintain. So I really need to account everything. Like, I'm weighing my food now. I am really aware of how many calories am I getting. Unlike before, when I get to from 34 to 30, I'm not really counting that much. It's all intuitive eating. One advantage of diet break is, you know, you enjoy life. You really enjoy food to the fullest. You know, this is our office. It's office day, working in the mornings and then feasting at night. You know, I reserved. You don't have to reserve a lot of calories when you're on a diet break because it's maintenance. It's simply eating at maintenance. So you have a lot of room to work on. So this is some bagnit, some Filipino food, pakbet with my baby. Yeah, so it's a lot of fun. And yeah, if you are aiming for competitive shape, then this is not for you. Okay, this is not the diet for you. But if you're aiming for, you know, general population, you know, who wants to just get to a nice low body fat level, health wise, 15 to 20%, then you can sustain it doing it this way. You know, having shape, good muscle size. And that's the topic for today. You build muscle on the right areas because you only have so much muscle to gain. You build it on the right areas. You know, if you have limited, you know, stocks of clay, if you're an artist, you have a clay and then you want to build on a sculpture, you put the clay on the right areas. You know, same on the muscle. Okay, if you are a beginner and you want to build muscle, even intermediates and advanced can benefit from this advice. You build it on the right areas. Okay, for males, build the V taper. That's the best way of creating, you know, the body, the illusion, the strength. You know, you look strong when you have the V taper. You know, don't do too much deadlifts and squats if you already have big legs. You know, build your incline bench. In this case, this is the push-ups, you know, the incline push-ups. Slow it down, slow the repetition, work with a partner. This is one of the best ways on when it comes to motivation. People ask, how do you get motivated? Well, if you have a partner motivating you, even if you are not in the mood today to go to the gym, that partner will push you. I think that's one of the best ways of motivation. Okay, so build on the right areas. What is this? Horizontal row. It will build your rhomboids, meaning your upper back. Okay, and get to a low body fat level, low enough to make your waist look thin. For me, it's around 10 to 15% body fat. Some people are lucky, some males are lucky, 20% for them, they don't store fat on their bellies, on their midsection, which is blessed people. But most of us, most males store on their midsection a lot. So it's really a good idea to really go and lose some fat. Most people need to lose 20 pounds of fat. Okay, I'm not saying you don't do squats and deadlifts. I'm just saying don't focus too much on it because you have so much muscle, limited amount of muscle to gain it on the V taper. For females, gain it on your hips. Do a lot of Brett Contreras stuff. You know, what is that? Hip thrust. He has a whole book just talking about the glutes, you know, hip thrusting and doing these forward lunges, forward Bulgarian split squats and sumo deadlifts and step ups and all kinds of banded work. Okay, so build on the right areas. If you have 20 pounds to gain of muscle in your lifetime, for example, your limit is around 20 pounds of muscle left, build it on the shoulders. If you're male, build it on the biceps, on the chest, you know, the a little bit on the lower body, you know. If you're gonna build on the lower body, build the VMO for males. For females, the hips is the best, you know, best illusion when you develop the hips. Okay, so this is a very short week. I hope you like this video, and I hope you learned something. You know, free programs down below on our link tree. Check them out, versusyoufitness.com. Bye bye. Peace.